Spoiler alert. This video contains massive story and plot spoilers. You have been warned. Cait is a female human companion that resides downtown in the combat zone. The combat zone is a raider-infested fuckhole full of shit-stained mattresses, empty booze bottles and violent arseholes. One of these violent arseholes is Cait, who is your potential future companion and lover. Kill all the raiders and her contract will be offered to you by her ghoul boss. Cait's character is voiced by the lovely actor Cait Townsend. Although it seems a little strange that an American game developer would come thousands of miles to get a genuine native speaker to voice the part, then get lost in Stranraer docks and end up hiring a Scot. Almost nailed it, just 50 miles short, but good enough I guess. Cait is the Lindsay fucking Lohan of the Fallout world. She is a drug-addled train wreck of an individual. She spent her entire adult life chonged out of her skull on a drug and booze cocktail of stim, psycho and whiskey. She spent most of this time holed up in the combat zone, fighting it out in the arena for caps. Ironically, despite spending more than half a decade getting punched repeatedly in the chops, she's still looking very pretty indeed, unlike Lindsay Lohan, who somehow manages to look like she has spent the last 10 years in a boxing ring. In fact, considering that Cait has spent years fist fighting and shooting up drugs, she should by rights look like a snaggle-toothed meth fiend with a broken nose and piss stains down her leg, but somehow she has retained her beauty, and her slightly ruffled hair is all she has to show for all the years of trauma and self-abuse. Recruiting Cait is relatively easy, subject to what level you are and the difficulty setting. The main challenge is getting to her location and killing the fucks you find when you arrive. If you're playing on survival difficulty, where you can only save when you sleep, I would definitely recommend visiting Diamond City and then unlocking the nearby Hangman's Alley settlement before heading downtown to the combat zone to find Cait. Basically, if you're not tough enough to clear the raiders occupying Hangman's Alley, then you have fuck all chance of getting to and clearing out the combat zone. Consider it a test of how determined you are to cap yourself your first in-game girlfriend. Cait is a relatively solid humanoid companion and combat ally who can fight reasonably well, carry stuff and perform about average. Her preferred weapon is the double-barreled shotgun and the baseball bat, making her an effective close-quarters fighter. Upgrade her armour and give her a better weapon for improved performance. Ideally, late game, replace her corset outfit with a level 5 armoured dress or fatigues for massive armour improvements without reducing her carrying capacity. She has no faction affiliations and fairly middle-of-the-road stats. She can be instructed to pick locks of any difficulty for you, just make sure she has lock picks in her inventory. She loves a bit of thieving. She wears a very flattering corseted outfit, but it would have been more realistic if she was wearing a t-shirt saying, "I will fuck for crack." It's fairly easy to reach maximum affinity with Cait if she is your travelling companion. Drink alcohol, use lockpicking, take drugs. Fast travel with her while stark bollock naked. I shit you not. Always try and get more money out of people to help them. Basically, she likes getting shit-faced, theft, fighting, screwing people out of cash, and she's a bit of a slut. Essentially, she's best described as a thieving crack whore. Once she idolises you, Cait grants a sole survivor the Trigger Rush perk, which increases action point regeneration when the player's character's health is below 25%. There's no need to overthink it. If she's your active companion, and you're not a total fuckhead and you shoot things and pick a few locks, it's inevitable you will gain affinity from her relatively quickly. In order to reach maximum affinity with her, gain her companion perk and unlock her as a potential romantic partner, you'll need to complete her companion questline called Benign Intervention. Triggered, when she likes you sufficiently, she will confess the intimate, dark horrors of her past and chemical addiction to you, whilst, like a typical male, you'll pretend to listen whilst all the time thinking, boobies. You will get a quest to take her to Vault 95, so she can use a device that will miraculously cleanse her and deliver her to you renewed, as if reborn without sin, in a procedure that has remarkable symbolic parallels to a Roman Catholic confessional. Once cured, and like an ex-smoker, the second she gives up, she will automatically assume the moral fucking high ground and start lecturing you about the perils of addiction when you take drugs. Yeah, check that shit out. She spends her entire fucking life getting high. You fix her addiction, and 5 fucking seconds later, she will backchat you if you take drugs. Ain't that a peach? Cait can be romanced in-game once you've reached maximum affinity. Pass a few speech checks, and then sleeping while she's in close proximity miraculously doesn't give you a sexually transmitted disease, but instead gives you the lover's embrace buff. This grants you plus 15% experience points bonus for 12 hours, and the unsettling realisation that the most successful relationship you've ever had is with a non-existent video game character. Cait fulfills the very extensive list of requirements that I look for in a long-term partner. She has really poor judgment, and she's not hiding a penis down there. I checked. That's the whole list. My legal advisor, however, insisted that I include the condition, she has a pulse. Personally, if I was forced to make my checklist longer, I doubt having a pulse would have made it into the top 5. Just saying. Don't judge me. If you had to choose between billionairess and a pulse, which would you choose? Be honest with yourself now. So, let's put on our RPG hats for a few minutes and evaluate Cait as a character within the game from a role-playing perspective. She's been a violent alcoholic drug addict for over a decade, but somehow manages to retain a casual beauty about her. I really want to like her, but my inside voice keeps telling me she's woken up on more strange mattresses than pubic lice. Well, all I'm saying is that I hope that room where she got fixed also had a sexual health module and a memory wipe function, because holy fuck, she's got to have some baggage. I really want to like her because she's a strong woman who can fight, and I don't have issues with women wanting to choose lots of sexual partners. My issue is that she's a big bag of stereotypes, and frankly, if we're going to go full RPG here, and never go full RPG, she was too wasted to be able to claim she chose her sexual partners. I don't want to judge anyone based on their past transgressions, but the issue is she's been an alcoholic, violent drug addict for over a decade. So, would you really want to sleep with someone like that? Obviously, the answer is yes. But shit, you know it's not sensible, and you know deep down that 2 weeks later when you're sitting in the waiting room of a genital health clinic, you will regret that decision. I also find the whole Irish Roman Catholic subtext kinda creepy, with too many stereotypes. Irish drunk, Irish violent, and you deliver her to a cubicle, read confession box, where she comes out cleansed. The subtext here is obvious, clunky, and very worn. I'm not a social justice warrior. I'm not saying I'm offended by this representation of Cait. I'm just saying that portraying the most prominent Irish character in a video game as a red-haired, violent, drunken thief is a little bit on the lazy side, and draws on stereotypes that might have got a free pass in the 1920s, but seem out of place in the year 2016. I'm going to go out on a limb here and make the wild and crazy assumption that not everyone from Ireland conforms to these stereotypes. Last time I checked, Ireland had transport and power infrastructure, 8 Nobel Prize winners, and they invented the tank, the ejector seat, the guided missile, the submarine, and discovered the cure for leprosy. I'm not convinced that the entire nation is staggering around drunk, fist fighting, and puking in the gutter all day long. I guess all I'm saying is this. If I had been asked in advance what would be the things to avoid when writing an Irish character into a Fallout game, I would have probably responded something like this. For Christ's sake, avoid cliches like red hair, drunkenness, fist fighting, pikey references, and any kind of symbolism that evokes Roman Catholic subtext. Well, let's just say they managed to tick all the fucking boxes. Her characterisation is Irish in the same way Santa Claus is Finnish, Lady Penelope is English, and Adolf Hitler is German. I still like her character, but after a lot of thought realised She's just based on stereotypes. And yes, I know Hitler was actually Austro-Hungarian. At the end of the day though, Cait is a solid catch early game. She's easy to acquire, easy to gain affinity with, has an interesting personal quest, and grants a solid combat perk. She can carry your shit for you, be equipped with better armour and weapons, and she is a strong and entertaining female personality. She also has a sexy voice, jokes about having threesomes with Piper, she's a good combat companion, and she's smoking hot. Obviously, she's not anywhere near as attractive as any English girls. Take a look at some of these elegant Anglophile lovelies. That last one was my sister, by the way. You won't like Cait if you make sensible sexual health choices. You will like Cait if you're looking for a girlfriend who owns a shotgun and enjoys casually beating people to death with a baseball bat. Good luck with that, and happy hunting.